Today, we're sewing the strips for Arthur's quilt. I'm having really bad back issues. Well, not really bad, but bad enough that I have to be careful how I move with my back today and my shoulders. So, and it was beautiful yesterday, but it's raining and cold today. Oh, there's my thing. Okay, let's do that. All right, we'll put it on the live chat. And I have my passwords reset up again. Okay, let me go change my glasses and we'll be right back. Oh, my knees too. Everything hurts. But that's okay. Gotta keep moving or we'll seize up. And I gotta step over cords. Oh. Oof. All right, now. So, and, oops. I gotta do this way. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh, there we go. All right, let's turn the chat off over here. Here we go. How's that? A little bit closer. There we go. Hey, Linda, Celeste, Kathy Acevato, how's it going? I'm having a rough day with my joints because, well, of course, we went out yesterday and I was in and out of the truck, wasn't I? Gracie's wandering around now because I'm talking, right? She hears me talking. So we've already got 2 strips done and put together. And I kind of want to lay them out, if I can, just to see where I'm going to go next. I don't want to put too many blocks that are not random, you know what I mean? Never mind, because I'm just going to pull that when I need it. So, alrighty. So I'm going to start sewing until everybody gets in, and then we're going to have a chat. Hey, yellow bird. Hi, Linda. Hey, Meredith. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry you're sick. You know what? These aren't the right glasses for this. Hang on. Let me plug this iron just to make sure I don't accidentally turn it on, because I'm putting it on the floor. And I'm bringing my laptop just a little bit closer now. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. Will you just be the best give her the best love and support that you can? Hey, Angela M. Because, you know, when it comes right down to it, all we got to do, or all we have to give, is our love and support, right? Okay, hi, Seashell. How are you, darling? Okay, now I'm going to start picking through these and choosing which ones I want. All right, first, this has to go this way, right? Yeah, I got to go get my regular glasses back. This isn't going to work. Oh, Gracie, did I startle you moving the table? She's Scooby-Dooed. Oh, I'll be right back. Oh. All of my joints feel like they're wooden blocks. You know what I mean? They're clunky. Oh. Okay. Now. All right, so I'm doing this like this. I got patrons. I got the fresh decorations for the office. Uh-oh, I hear a squeaky. Someone said, oh, I'm so sorry I sent a squeaky if she's not allowed to have them. I said, no, she can have them. She just can't play with them when I'm on camera. Oh, my goodness. That's her saying, Mommy, who are you talking to? You're scaring me because I think you're going crazy. It's not true. She just wants her moment in the sun. So I got a big pot of soup going. I haven't decided whether I'm going to be able to make some noodles for it or not. Because I don't know how long I'm just getting my dishes done is causing a problem. So I went to Dollarama yesterday, as you saw for the live stream, and I got the stuff to decorate the office. Now here's the deal, folks. My office is, I'm not going to be out of that bedroom before Christmas. So I'm going to move some, just a few bins and stuff back in to the other room. And we'll deal with my bedroom after Christmas. And not you. I'm not putting my tree up until closer to the end of November. Okay, did I get all the pins out of that? Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, let's see. What else have I got? So, oh, that square is a little off, isn't it? Well, we'll do the best we can. We'll do the best we can doing it this way. You know what? I have to trim this. It's not square at all. These are some of these squares, the uglier ones, were something I was doing years ago, and I found these, and that's what made me decide on this pattern. Hey, sweet sipper, how's Jessica today? So yeah, I got a big pot of soup on. And we didn't decorate outside because by the time we got home, we were really tired. We still had a couple hours of daylight left. But Howie, you know, Howie drives to and from Ottawa every day. And so for him to take one of his days off to take me out and about is really, really extremely thoughtful of him. So he said, well, what do you want to do? And he said, I'm not promising anything. I said, Howie, I want to go in and you know, relax. Right? So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Bong, bong. Yes, our clocks went back. I'm convinced it's to throw us off our energy levels. But then, that's me. I'm a conspiracy theorist, apparently. Okay. Oops. So, I want to address some comments that were made on today's video on Life with the Wolfies. Someone said, "Ew, that's gross! Taking food off your plate and making it into a leftover meal. If you were in a restaurant, you'd be shut down." Now, I'm sure that makes sense to somebody. But here's the deal. None of the food that went into that casserole touched our mouths. It was food on our plate that we didn't eat. So please don't react like I took a bite of food and spit it back on my plate and then put it into another meal. Okay? 2, Howie and I are the only people going to eat that little casserole. And 3, we don't waste food in this house. It's not from a regular viewer, and someone else actually who is a regular viewer said, you know, this is kind of controversial. No, it's not. No, it's not. You want what controversial? Leather breeches. You want to be controversial? String them up and let them dry for months with flies landing on them and everything, and just give them a rinse before you soak them, right? Don't come at me for using the food that was left on the plate for another meal. I mean, don't you use your bones? Because if that bugs you, today's supper's going to drive you batty. Because guess what I've been saving? My T-bone steak bones. Because I can't chew the meat off the bone, so I cut it off. And that leaves a nice bit of meat. And I set them to simmering overnight to make tonight's soup. So, it must be the same person who freaked out because I used a crock pot to make soap in and then used the crock pot for food. It's soap. It was cleaner than a whistle. Okay? So, everybody just relax. Oops. Okay. Make sure everybody can see okay. There we go. Okay. I know, but hi Phoebe. Hey Silver and Blackie. I know, but it's, come on. You know, sometimes I think people have nothing better, no more time on their hands or nothing better to do than to invent shit to bitch about. Okay? And I'm not telling you people to do it. What I was doing is I show you how I make things stretch. And that is the whole purpose of doing what I do. Okay, let's get back over here. And let me see. Ooh, yes. I think I'll do this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I already got a black one in there. Okay. I'm looking at the man in the mirror, right? If you want to make the world a better place, you got to look in the mirror and make a change. I love that song. Oh, I'm going to run that through again. Patricia. How's it going? There we go. That's better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put something colorful on here. Colorful or bright. This is the part. I have these all laid out. I have these all laid out in different piles, and yet I still have a hard time deciding which is the next block I should use. For example, tonight I'm going to make a stir fry with some leftover rice and leftover chicken. Good. Excellent. Oh. You gotta look at yourself and make the change. Hey, creation. So when we do start putting the lights up, that's 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. When we do start putting the, put the decorations up, yes, of course, I will be videotaping it to the best of my ability. I am missing a pile. I knew I was missing a pile. Okay. Let me get over there and pick it up. I got knocked on the floor. Oh. And my ruler. All kinds of stuff on the floor here. I got knocked over. Okay. I knew I had another pile. Anything else get dropped? Okay. Gracie's all snuggled up in my chair looking out the bay window. It's her favorite place to curl up. Looking out the bay window. Making sure nobody comes in. Okay, where are all the ones I made with the blue plaid? Oh, God, my back. And I just dropped something on the floor. I had a pile like this. Where did they go? Oh, wait a minute. There's a couple of them. Cheese and crackers. Try to be organized, but it just doesn't work that way some days. Okay. Here's one. There we go. If you want to make the world a better place, you got to look at yourself and make a change. Here we go. Hey, Living Simply. Where's my... So I started doing my Christmas cards today. And at 4 o'clock, patrons, we're going to get together. Whoops. We're going to get together. I'm going to show you what I got for decorating the bedroom, office. Now comes the boring part. Putting the strips on. I thought you were... I am laid up with my back, Joe, but the thing is I can't lay around on my back or it gets worse, right? So I've just been taking it kind of easy. 10 minutes at the sink, 10 minutes, you know, sitting down and doing a project sitting down. So, you want to make the world a better place, you got to look at yourself and make the change. Now let's turn this around and see if this isn't the better side to do this. Here. No, it's not going to make any difference. All right, so here we go. Now, when it comes to doing these, I pin the joints of the blocks together because I want them to line up correctly. And I have been pretty lax with how I have been, I've been, you know, pretty lax with my measurements. You know what I mean? When I based the new blocks on some of these old blocks, and some of these old blocks aren't very square, if you know what I mean. Sometimes being square is a good thing. There's the hippie coming out in me. Alrighty. Had a small leftover pork chop, cut it up with hash browns and Brussels sprouts. There you go. Tomorrow's video is processing that pork. Shoot, I grabbed 2 pins. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get you up here. I want to make sure the joints line up. That is all. Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be tomorrow's video. I took steak bones that I had been saving in the freezer. I don't throw out bones anymore because we don't put them to our mouth. When I make us chicken, I usually I debone it after it's cooked and put the bones aside for bagging up later, like with those chicken thighs. But I've been saving, you know, we had those deals on T-bone steaks, and I've been saving the T-bones for broth. So to give our soup, our leftover, you know, meal 4, I actually simmered the steak bones overnight in my big crock pot. And that's what started today's soup. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Yeah, I'm out of key today. If you want to make the world a better place, you got to look in the glass and make a change. Sure you can. Of course you can. Didn't you see my chicken noodle soup that I used with just a leg? I cooked that leg all night. And I added the bones from the chicken that we ate the night before. Gracie, don't be licking a wet spot on my chair. I should have given her a bath yesterday. I want to give her one more bath before the real cold weather hits, but then I want to now wait for a night that it is it's too short a pin. Want to do it on a night we have the wood stove going, so don't want her getting sick. Someone else gave me crap for giving Gracie a bite of roast beef from Howie's plate because it had powdered garlic on it. I know a woman. She's good to me. She was an herbalist. And she would deworm her dog once a year with a clove of raw crushed garlic. So I'm pretty sure that little sprinkling on my roast on that 1-inch piece of meat that she got ain't gonna do dick. Hang on a second, I gotta fix this. Make it so that I'm not. There we go. You guys can see. Ooh, there we go. I know that the onion family is toxic to dogs. I am well aware. Okay? But it's like chocolate. No, I don't give my dog chocolate. But that all got started by a dog that had eaten several pounds or a couple of pounds of processed cocoa beans. Okay? Yeah, it's not good for dogs. But if they accidentally eat a little piece of your chocolate bar, don't run them to the vet. Okay? And there is such a thing as making dog chocolate with carob. I know. I so get it, Phoebe. I so hear you. I am not telling people what to do or what to do or how to do things, right? If you want to make the world a better place, you got to look in the mirror and make a change. All right, here we go. Get that pin out. Pins out. Back over it and make sure it's dead. Now that's stuck in my head now. If you want to make the world a better place, you got to look at yourself and make the change. Again, back over them seams to make sure they're dead. Okay. Arthur has another quilt that I made him, probably around 2004, 2005. And it's got a few pieces that are wearing thin. I mean, it's good for a long time yet. So maybe I'll take that. When he gets this one, I'll take that one and start working on it. The entitlement, indeed. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing I wouldn't do for my kids. Except murder. I don't murder for anybody. But then, I've never been put in that position, so. Tug you down so I know you're even. That was a pretty thick joint. Yes, see, indeed he is. And tomorrow I will probably be at the quilt frame. Pins. Pins. Back over it. There we go. Back up a bit. Take that pin. And then zoom. Back up. Back over it. This one's going to be tied though. So even while I'm working on Mikey's on the quilt frame, I can be tying this one on this table. Uh-oh, I must have ran out of bobbin thread. Hang on a second. I'm running out of thread, period. I'm going to have to, I guess I could use blue. It wouldn't matter, really. Because it's a dark quilt. So, yeah, I'm out of bobbin thread. Okay, let's pull this one off. Here's one. Don't use these in the singer bath. I feel the judgment just from the sticker on the sewing machine. You probably had problems because you were using the wrong bobbins. Alrighty. Where'd you go? Here you are. I'm just going to use up all the thread in these bobbins before I fill them up again. Oh, God, a little bit of nausea, which happens to me about this time of day because I can smell dinner and it makes my tummy feel upset. It's an old gastric bypass thing for me. All right, let's do this. Here we go. And let's finish this last little bit that didn't quite get stitched. All right, here we go. Alrighty. One more row and this is half done. Because I'm not going to have enough to make. And I can't iron this because some of this stuff has polyester in it. And it doesn't matter what I do. I always end up putting two next to each other that I didn't want to. Oh, well. Okay. This is row number 3. When I get it all stretched out on the table, I'll pin it to the layers together. I'll safety pin the layers together and then we'll start tying. All right, next row. How do we, I guess it doesn't matter which end we start with, right? No, they're a totally different bobbin. They are a solid bobbin and they're a little bit higher than these ones. It's not perforated. They're not the same. It's totally different. I just assumed it would be the same, right? And I was wrong. Whew. I have tons of these, but they're all in different colors. All right, who's next? Who's next? This feller. Went and voted in the municipal elections yesterday. It honestly is the only elections I honestly think are done properly and fairly. I don't necessarily trust provincial or federal elections anymore, but that's just me. I don't always double the end, but oh yes. Now, okay, let's look through here. Here's one. Here's an odd one. Ah, it's too dark. Nah, it'll work. Hey, J-Rob, how's it going? Lower us up, J and B. Howdy. Hi, Debbie. Make sure I'm putting this on the right way. Yep. I will use wool yarn to tie it. But it won't be wool. It'll just be, you know, the cheap stuff. Because I don't knit anymore and I have some left over. The last thing I knit was my grandson's cat, stuffed cat, that he has named Arthur. I think that's a rather honor, actually, to, you know, for him to name his cat after his dad. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should have put it in there. 5. Oh, let's do this one. 6. Hey, Willows. Hi, Sandra. I always count. Even though I remember, I always count. Because you just can make a mistake so easy. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Oh no. Oh no. That has holes in it. What can I do? You know what I can do? I am not taking this apart again. So what I'm going to do is while I'm sitting here, I'm going to patch that. I'm going to put this little piece on right here. And did I have holes on the other side too? No. Okay, thank goodness. They don't call it a scrap quilt for nothing, folks. They're not very big holes, but this is very thin wool suit fabric. And I just don't want it to be a problem later. You know what I mean? Then we're just going to trim this off. There we go. Patched! Because the original quilt was a whole lot uglier than this one's going to be. And it was made with my maternity coat. You know what I mean? So I'm not wasting. Uh-oh. This thing keeps coming loose. This presser foot screw. Now let's see what a mess I made of it. Hey Norma, how's it going? Silver and Blackie. Here you go. See? And that is a piece of my maternity coat that wouldn't fit in this quilt because it was too small. Never throw away the scraps till you're done, folks. This is 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All righty. Not you. Oh, I'm really going to screw them up. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a 9 patch one here on the end. I can, you know, my son is so, he's a perfectionist. And the only time he isn't is when I make him a quilt. Come on, baby. I hear the rain pattering on the skylights. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys want to hang around long enough for me to put this one on? See, now that's just going to drive him crazy. It's just going to drive him nuts. But you know what? I can be mean that way. Sip tea. What time is it? Oh, I still got about 20 minutes before I have to set up for my patrons live. I have to do another load of dishes. Yes, please. Okie dokie. All right. Oops. Did I just drop my mouse? Oh. See, folks, quilts don't have to be. Now, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do this one this way, I think. Quilts do not have to be. No, I can't do it that way. I'll have to go this way. Perfect. To be full of warmth and love. This is the ingenuity of our ancestors. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. Let's start pinning. I'm going to get a few more pins out because some of those were short. Come on, Aunt Jane. This is how I remember we have a fabric outlet not far away, and I will be going soon to see if I can get some deals on cotton fabric and maybe some wool. There you go. This is how I remember. Do you remember these? These were peanut butter jars. Thick, heavy glass. They started using plastic because it was too heavy for the guys loading and unloading the trucks and the shelves. But we now have dollies on trucks, so we can go back to glass if we want. Remember when plastic bags were going to save the planet? Because we were using all the trees to cut down and make for paper bags? Every generation, it's some new thing that they want to distract us with so that we won't pay attention to what they're doing. Well, that soup's starting to smell good. The only problem with this is, there, you don't want to dig your hand into the jar, which I just did. Lucky I didn't prick myself too hard. One of these days, I'm going to go back over to the Mohawk Casino in New York, outside of New York, because the Mohawk Indian Reserve is not a part of New York. It's the Mohawk Indian Reserve. But we'll go over there, and we'll go over there and play some poker one of these days. God, I miss poker. And what we'll do is there's a quilt store not far down the road from the casino that I always go to. A fabric store. I call it a quilt store, but it's a fabric store, and it's got quilts on the walls. And most of the people that shop there, I think it's called Hogan's. It's in Hogansburg. Thank you, Aunt Jane, for being thrifty and never throwing anything away. Because these old pins, these ones are hard. They are tough as nails. Well, yeah, exactly. We don't need plastic bottles anymore. And I'm telling you, the recycling craze was created by the petroleum industry. Plastics are made of petroleum product. They're a petroleum product. And they were made, the recycling industry was created so that you could use plastic guilt-free, and they could continue to use put plastic out on the market. We don't need it, okay? There are some things that we need plastic for, but not everything. You know what I mean? All right. I'll tell you, folks, when this one goes on, we are half done assembling this top. And if it's not big enough, then I am going to add wool plaid, a 3-inch border of wool plaid all the way around. Because again, it's a scrap quilt. See, when these pins come out, they'll go back into the pin cushion, and that's where I need them to be. Yep. Yep. You're right, Mama Dukes. Yep, me too. There was this one woman during the pandemic who was canning with Catelli spaghetti jars. And they were the kind with the lug lid. And she said, now, before anybody comes at me, she said, jars are nowhere to be found, and we have to preserve while we can, right? And I said to her, honestly, I would probably take a lot of flack if I did that, but I don't need the jars, right? But the truth is, those jars are designed, and the lids are designed for commercial canners. Do you know what that means? It means unless the seal has been broken or there's rust showing through or anything like that, they're good to go again. So, you know, that's the bit of the rebel canner in me. I just don't need to do it because I have plenty of jars, right? And not room for them all in my pantry. All right. This is going to see us halfway through. Okay. And what I might do is stop this at 7 and see, whoops, and see if, I don't want to make a cube if it's going to not lay out properly. So I will stop at 7 rows. And what the hell have I done here? Oh, for God's sakes, Beverly. I messed about with myself with the 9-patch block. I threw myself off. That's what I get for planning on making my son. I hope he finds love again and marries so I can give him a proper wedding quilt. I've been saving that grandmother's flower garden quilt for him to get married. And, well, just might not, you know. I don't know. We'll see. You for not landing on a needle. Oh my friggin', this is one of the reasons, one of the things I loved about the little sewing machine was I didn't use the presser foot, I used the thing here. Okay. Because this may go 7 by 9, which will allow me to do a bigger border more evenly. You know what I mean? If I have to make it into a rectangle, a cube into a rectangle, the borders that I put on, some are going to have to be bigger than the others. So we'll see what 7 by 9 does. Okay, this one's going to be a tough one because that was a double thick piece. I'm going to have to go back and look at it, make sure I... God. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm going to go back over that seam again. You know that? Just because this back piece had 2 pieces, so I want to make sure It's really well. I'm gonna do a small inside. What's going on here? Oh, for frig's sakes. There we go. Did that work? Yes, it did. Okay. Where are the pins for that one? Oh, no, there must be. I must have missed them. Oh, no, they're at this end. Right. So we're going to, this is 4 rows. And when it gets to 7, we're going to stop. Make sure I got no pins in there. What the heck is going on with this friggin' thread? We will stop and lay it out and assess when we get to 7. Hey, Mary. Let's make sure. No, that did not go. Always check your back seam, see? This didn't come through properly. There we go. Now, working with a heavy fabric like this, don't worry if it looks bumpy when you turn it over. That's going to get all straightened out when it's pinned together. This is only the second time I've worked with wool fabric since making Arthur's quilt out of my maternity coat. Okay, let's double check and make sure I didn't leave any pins in. All right. See what I mean about bumps? Things are all going to get stretched out and pinned together. Not too shabby, eh? Not too shabby at all. I gotta go. This is Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, good or bad, we're probably close to halfway through finishing this top. So I'm going to probably work on the quilt frame tomorrow, but every day this week, mostly every day this week is going to be either or. All right? Take care. God bless, and thanks for hanging out with me. Mwah!